please call the roll.
Seeger. Here. Robert.
Here.
Truxillo.
Here.
Daughtery. Milligan. Gaines.
Here.
Martino.
Here.
Narcisse.
Here.
Walker.
Here.
Barrios.
Here.
Blanchard.
Here.
We have a quorum.
Okay, please appoint Commissioner Barrios as an alternate
Got it?
and Commissioner
Blanchard.
Blanchard as an alternate.
Gotcha.
Okay, we'll call the meeting to order. Announcements, please silence all phones and electronic devices. Appeals, if your agenda item does not go the way you wish, you have the right to appeal to the Parish Council. Speaker cards are on my right up there on the side. If you wish to speak about an item that you're not the petitioner of, then we need you to fill out a speaker card and hand it in so I can call you forward when the time comes. Public speaking will be 5 minutes each side, 3 minutes additional for a rebuttal. Once your case is heard, you can exit the building if you wish, just please do so quietly. Please stand for the invocation and pledge of allegiance. Good.
Heavenly Father, as we enter into the holiday season, let us be thankful for the precious gift of your Son. Thank you for the blessings you continue to bestow upon the residents, employees, and elected officials and appointees of our fair parish. Lord, as we walk in our everyday life, let us never forget that it is indeed more blessed to give than to receive, and thank you for the opportunity to give back to our community, giving the precious gift of our limited time in our endeavor to make St. Tammany a piece of heaven on earth. God bless us, everyone. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, everyone should have a copy of the minutes in your packet. I need a motion to approve the minutes. Commissioner Narcisse.
Motion to approve the minutes.
Motion to approve the minutes is written. Commissioner Truxillo.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve the minutes. Commissioner Robert, do you have a comment? Okay. Please vote.
Motion to approve minutes carries.
Okay, staff, do we have any cases to postpone?
No request to postpone.
Okay, at the chair's discretion, we have a couple of children in the audience. We'd like to hear item number 9 at the head of the column here, head of the agenda. No objection. Commissioner Narcisse.
Item number 9, 2025-4420 MSP minor subdivision of parcel A and .749 acres into parcels A1, A2, and A3. Owner and representative Robert DeWitt and Rhonda DeWitt. Surveyor, Land Surveying, LLC, Parish Council District Representative, the Honorable Cheryl Tanner. General location of property is located on the southeast side of LA 40, east of Ben Williams Road, Bush, Louisiana, Ward 5, District 6. Requesting approval of the name of access servitude.
Staff.
You may recall that this case was in front of you last month, and here it is back in front of you, and the request consists of the approval of the name. The proposed name of the access that is shown here on the survey plat shall be granted approval by the Planning Commission. The proposed name is DeWatt Lane, and it's been submitted and approved by St. Tammany Parish Communication District. So here we request the Planning and Zoning Commission to consider approving this, the name of the road.
Okay. Is the petitioner here? Have anything to add? Okay. Thank you. Bring it back to anyone in the audience wish to speak in favor? Anyone opposed? Naming a road. Okay, bring it back to the commission. Commissioner Robert.
I don't have an issue with it. I just wanted to clarify, is the name supposed to be DeWatt, W-A-T-T? Okay, because I know your last name's DeWitt. So that being said, I'd like to make a motion to approve with the waiver.
Motion to approve with the waiver. Commissioner Robert. Commissioner Seeger.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. No further discussion. Please vote.
Motion to approve carries with waiver.
Thank you. Okay, at the request of staff, we're going to move item number 1, that's the text change to zoning case, item number 2025-4455ZC to last on the agenda. Is there anyone in the audience that was here to hear that case? Okay. All right, so we'll move on to item number 2 on the agenda, please, Commissioner
Item
Narcisse.
number 2, 2025-4446 MSP minor subdivision of tract A1 into tracts A1A and A1B. Owner and representative, Highway 59 Holdings, LLC, Mark Cochran. Surveyor, Low Engineers, Parish Council Representative, Honorable Arthur Laughlin. General location, the property is located on the north side of Warner Lane and on the south side of Marshall Road, Mandeville, Ward 4, District 11.
Staff?
The applicant is requesting to reconfigure track A1 into 2 tracks. The minor subdivision requires a public hearing due to, as you can see in Table 1, the petitioner of parent track track A1 has been through the minor subdivision process, thus requiring the request to be heard in front of the Planning Commission, and it should be subject to item number 1.
Okay, is the petitioner here? You have anything to add, sir?
No, I have nothing to add. I'm just here to state if y'all have any questions. I represent Mark Corcoran for the Southeast International.
All right, thank you very much. Anyone, I have one person, are you David Dominguez?
Yes, sir.
Okay, perfect. All right, anyone else in the audience wish to speak in favor? Anyone opposed? We'll bring it back to the commission. Commissioner Robert.
I've reviewed this. I do not have a problem with it. I'd like to make a motion to approve.
Motion to approve, Commissioner Robert. Commissioner Truxillo.
Second.
Motion and a second. I'll have any further discussion. Please vote.
Motion to approve carries.
Okay, item number 3.
Item number 3, 2025-4458 MSP minor subdivision of 18.144 acres into lots A and B. Owner and representative, Emma Singletary. Surveyor, J.V. Burks and Associates. Parish Council District Representative, Honorable Cheryl Tanner. General location of property is located on the west side of LA 41, on the north side of Ella Singletary Road, Pearl River, Louisiana, Ward 6, District 6.
Staff?
The applicant is requesting to subdivide an existing 18.144 acres into Lot A and B. If you notice on the survey in the aerial, there are currently 2 single-family residences on this property, and the request is to have each parcel to have, each residence to have its own parcel. The minor subdivision request requires a public hearing due to Lot B does not meet the minimum lot width of 150 feet along a parish road and requires approval from the Planning Commission, and the approval should be subject to items 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5.
Is Ms. Singletary here? I'm here in favor of her. Do you wish to add anything? Okay. Bring it back. Anybody in the audience wish to speak in favor? Anyone opposed? Bring it back to the commission. Commissioner Seeger.
Move to approve.
Motion to approve, Commissioner Seeger. Commissioner Robert.
I'd like to second.
Motion and a second. No further discussion. Please vote. Man, you guys are killing it tonight.
Motion to approve carries.
Item number 4, 2025-4466 MSP minor subdivision of 52.935 acres into parcels A, B, C, D, and E. Owner Michael Chalaron, Andre Chalaron, and Michael Peter. Lisbeth Peter. Representative Clint Stevens. Surveyor J.V. Burks and Associates. Parish Council District Representative Honorable Kathy Seaton. General location, the property is located on the north side of LA 1085 and on the west side of Peters Road, Madisonville, Louisiana, Ward 1, District 4.
Staff?
The applicant is requesting to subdivide 52.9 acres into 5 tracts. The minor subdivision requires a public hearing due to, as per the Unified Development Code, only one lot application may be proposed as a flag lot. If you noticed on the survey, Parcel A and Parcel D are proposed to be flag lots, thus requiring a waiver from the Planning and Zoning Commission. Also, the lot frontage on the pole portion of the flag lot must be between 30 and 60 feet. In this minor subdivision, Parcel A and Parcel D are both proposed as flag lots and are have a width of 75.38 feet each and exceeding the maximum allowable footage of 60 feet, thus requiring a waiver from the Planning Commission. And parcel B does not meet the 150-foot road frontage required under the L1 large lot residential district and requiring a waiver from the Planning Commission. If approved, the request shall be subject to items 1, 2, 3, and 4.
Okay, is the petitioner here? Mr. Stevens? Do you wish to add anything? Okay. Anyone in the audience wish to speak in favor? Anyone opposed? Bring it back to the commission. Commissioner Robert.
I've reviewed this. I don't have any issues with it. Initially, I was concerned with the entrance, the double flag lots, but
Yeah.
I think this is a better configuration considering the only access from what I'm seeing would be off of 1085. And I don't think with the spot that it would need to be in that it's a safe option. So in my opinion, the flag lot's actually a better configuration in this instance, especially since Peters Road is very well developed with several residents already living along it. I looked at the flood. Flood does not concern me as much on this property because the East Beatico Creek falls to the west of the entire parcel, and the majority of it is truly not in AE. The majority of it's in C. So it is critical drainage, but there's plenty of space. I would make a motion to approve with waivers.
Motion to approve with waivers. Commissioner Robert, Commissioner Truxillo.
Yeah, I know this area pretty well, and I second the motion.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. No further discussion. Please vote.
One more person. There we go. Motion to approve carries.
Item number 5.
Item number 5, 2025-4468 MSP, minor subdivision of parcel B into parcels B1, B2, B3, B4, B5. Owner Terryland LLC, Roland Von Semini. Representative Kyle Associates LLC, James E. Powell Jr. Surveyor John G. Cummings and Associates. Parish Council Representative Honorable Martha Casabon. General location of the property is located at the end of Pamela Drive on the north side of Ronald Reagan Highway, Covington, Louisiana, Ward 3, District 3.
Staff?
The applicant is requesting a minor subdivision of 41.95 acres into 5 parcels. The minor subdivision request requires a public hearing due to, as you can see in Table 1, the parent parcel B1 has been through the minor subdivision process, thus requiring the request to be heard in front of the Planning and Zoning Commission. Parcels B2, B3, B4, and B5 are proposed to be accessed from a 35-foot access servitude, therefore requiring approval from the Planning and Zoning Commission. Requesting a waiver to construct the access servitude and require your drainage prior to building permit being issued on parcel B2, B3, B4, and B5. And the proposed private road measures 1,050 feet and 1,000.49 feet, exceeding the maximum allowable length of a street ending in a cul-de-sac. Therefore, a waiver from the Planning Commission is required, and the request shall be subject to items 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7.
Thank you. Is the petitioner here?
Yes, sir. Good evening.
Yes, sir.
Eddie Powell with Kyle Associates.
There we go.
638 Village Lane, North in Mandeville. Here on behalf of the developer owner, Terryland LLC. So as Helen mentioned, this is a 42-acre parcel that we're just divided into 5 sort of large estate lots. One's about 10 acres, and the rest are around 8 each. We do have to request a waiver due to the length of the dead-end street. It's kind of a narrow, relatively narrow lot. So to get, the 5 lots, it just required an extension of the access servitude, longer than the maximum allowable of 700 feet. But we intend to build the road and cul-de-sac and everything else in accordance with parish requirements. The comments from the staff, we don't have any issues with anything. Actually reviewed those with staff yesterday. 4 is we've already provided the servitude agreement, maintenance agreement. We'll obviously do street signs and the engineering plans. We've indicated the no-cut buffers for both the 35-foot off the intermittent waterways and as well as the scenic river no-cut. And we've got plenty of room to stay out of all those areas when the parcels are developed with residences. So here to answer any other questions you might have. Thank you for your consideration.
Thank you. Anyone else in the audience wish to speak in favor? Anyone opposed? Bring it back to the commission. Commissioner Robert.
I have a question for staff. So on comment number 1, the access servitude slightly aligns with the no-cut waterway buffer indicated on parish maps. How do they overcome this in practice?
It's actually been resolved. We had a meeting with the representative here, Mr. Eddie Powell, and they will add, maybe a bubble to the survey. It's difficult to see.
Yeah,
and
it's
they will print as a larger, at a larger resolution or larger scale, so it's going to be a lot easier to see. But it appears that they're touching because of the scale, but they're not. So, and Mr. Powell can add more to this.
Yeah, Helen's correct. We actually had those waterways surveyed and have intentionally made sure that we cleared and adjusted our access servitude to miss those. And to Helen's point, and as requested by staff, we're going to just do a inset, like a larger inset bubble of that area, and or actually make the whole plat bigger so that it's much clearer. But we are staying clear of that as required.
And the portion that has the, because it does look like there's as if the access servitude directly runs through that drainage lateral. So if it does touch that drainage lateral, is there a requirement for culverts or something? How does this work? Is there a servitude that's dedicated to the parish? What exactly is the process for that? Helen?
I'm gonna let
Or Ted?
Ted answer that question.
Hit your button there. Thank you.
Go. So that extra section is a parish-maintained lateral. We already have maintenance rights to it. There is a requirement when they're crossing it to provide the necessary engineering documents as far as sizing of the crossing to make sure we maintain a 100-year flow. But as far as maintenance and servitudal rights, it exists right now because it's in our maintenance system.
Perfect. All right. Keeping that in mind, I'd like to make a motion to approve.
Motion to approve, Commissioner Robert.
Thank you.
I need a second.
I'll second.
Commissioner Narcisse, second. Any further discussion?
We need the waivers
Oh, sorry. Approve.
with the two.
Motion to approve with the waivers.
I would like to make a motion to approve with the waivers.
Thank you.
Commissioner Narcisse.
Second. With the waiver.
We have a motion and a second. Please vote.
Motion to approve carries with waivers.
Item number 6, under re-subdivisions, 2025-4469 MRP, re-subdivision of tract 100A, Farm 18, and the remaining portion of Farm 17 into tracts 100A1, 100A2, 100A3, 100A4, Glendale Heights Farm Subdivision. Owner and representative Paul G. Colby Hodge, Surveyor Land Surveying Services LLC, Parish Council District Representative Honorable Pat Phillips. General location of property is located on the west side of Lotus Road at the end of Narrowgate Farm Road, Mandeville, Louisiana, Ward 4, District 5.
Staff?
The applicant is requesting to subdivide tract 100-A Farm 18 into 4 tracts. The minor subdivision request requires a public hearing due to tracts 100A1, A1, A2, A3, and A4 are proposed to be accessed from a 35-foot servitude of access, therefore requiring approval from the Planning and Zoning Commission. The proposed name of the access depicted on the survey shall be granted approval. The proposed name is Narrowgate Road. Tract 100-A-3 does not meet the minimum lot width of 150 feet required under the L1 Large Lot Residential District, thus requiring a waiver from the Planning Commission, and also requesting a waiver to construct the access servitude and required drainage prior to building permit being issued on tracts 100A2, 3, and 4 instead of prior to the plat being recorded, and the request shall be subject to items 1 to 8.
Okay. Is the petitioner here? Okay, come on forward, sir. I have several cards that wish to speak. What was your name?
Paul Hodge.
Paul Hodge. What, you got anything to add?
Yes.
Okay.
I think when you look at it, it looks like a ton of building will happen initially, and that's not the case. We bought the land with the hopes that my 8-year-old, my 10-year-old, and my 12-year-old would have built a home later on in life.
Good luck.
I'm praying. That's why I named the road Narrowgate Road, if you guys would approve it.
Absolutely. Okay, that's it?
That's it.
Thank you. I have 3 cards here that say they wish to speak, but I don't have, they don't say for or against. Does anyone else in the audience wish to speak in favor? Anyone opposed? Okay, what's your name, sir?
John Price.
Mr. Price, come forward, please.
It's not so much that I oppose, I just have some concerns. There's a few things. If I could see the layout, it would help, but there's a road that goes in. I have three sides of my property are common with this property. And there's an asphalt road that goes to his gated area. I'm concerned about that when the cement trucks start coming there, the lumber trucks, and who's going to maintain that?
Is it Lotus Road is your road? Is that the asphalt road?
No, this
Okay.
road is going from Lotus Road to his property.
Okay, so there's a short little road that comes off of Lotus Road that connects into
His
the
property.
proposed narrow road.
Right
Okay.
now, it's not in very good shape. Also concerned about the trash pickup. Right now, I have 3 trash cans on my corner of the property. Sometimes there's 4. And if there's 4 houses back there, what's going to happen to that? Am I going to have 20 trash cans on my properties right there? I don't know what's going to happen with that.
All those are great questions, sir. If one of the commissioners wish to ask the petitioner about that, they'll be able to, okay?
Okay. I'm also concerned about drainage, because right now, everything, including his property, goes to the back, and I'm concerned if there's something built right there, some of that water will drain towards my property. And right now, I have a big buildup in my backyard, and it eventually drains to the creek.
So I can assuage those fears, so any plans that they would come forward with would have to be approved by engineering, and they would take a look at the drainage situation to make sure that they're not putting any excessive water onto your land as well.
Okay.
Okay?
All right.
All right, if you have any other questions, there'll be another time for you. I'll
Okay.
just take
I
the
think
other
that's
2
it
cards,
for
and
now.
you might come up with something else. Marlene Steinberg. Ma'am, do you wish to speak in favor or against? Or you don't know?
Don't know yet.
Okay, I'll put other.
I'd like to know what covenants will run with the lots, with the land and title. And that includes the 50-foot servitude that's supposed to be around the various properties. This also, does it include the minimum of the housing size, or carport size, or garage size? I'd like to know.
Okay,
Thank you very much.
thank you. Terry Joyner.
I can't say as I'm for or against.
Okay.
I do have concerns about the water. Our property butts right up to theirs. We are literally the opposite of their driveway from Mr. Price. So it is of great concern to us. I know that they have built houses on Lotus, and since they've built those houses, Lotus floods right across the street. It's just a little scary for me. I also have questions about heavy equipment. Our little road is not capable of carrying a whole lot. The other thing is, if by chance all of this goes through and our property is flooded or we do have problems with the street, I would like to know who will be held accountable.
Okay,
Okay?
thank you.
Thank you.
Sir, you have a time that's, if you wish to answer, yes, sir. If you wish to answer any of the questions, and this is your rebuttal time, yes, sir.
First of all,
Please don't, sir, just address us. I know that there are questions.
yeah, I
but you have
feel
to-
I feel like we should have maybe got ahead of this, and I
That's
do
okay.
apologize.
Yeah, that's why he's going to speak into the microphone.
Yeah, so I'm sorry we didn't get ahead of this before. I would agree that currently, I believe the road from, I don't even know if you call it a road, but the little bit between the road, which is Lotus Road, to our gate is kind of tore up. I think it's currently owned by St. Tammany, so the intention would be to clean it up if we were to get it renamed.
So on the plot design here, it says that Lotus Road is a public road and that Narrow Gate Road is going to be private. Staff, can you comment on the section that connects the two?
Yes, sir. So one of the things it's looking like based on, now I'm going 5 minutes into research here, so bear with me. Oh, sorry, is that any better?
Yes.
Sorry about that, y'all. So one of the things that we're looking at here, and I'm going on just a couple of minutes of research, there appears to be a parish maintained, or parish right-of-way between Lotus Road and what we're going to call or consider Narrow Gate Road. I'm looking on my maps, and it does not look like it was ever formally taken into the maintenance system, which may be the problem here. It is public right-of-way, but we have some that are not necessarily in the maintenance system. It may be an oversight of accepting that into the maintenance system. So it's something that I'll have to get with our Public Works Department to correct.
So I'm just going to put it on you to get with Helen and their staff to try to get that cleared up. That way, that'll take care of the maintenance issue.
Yeah. And then the garbage can issues, like, we can commit to doing a better job of getting our garbage cans back. We could commit to doing a better job of getting our garbage cans back.
That's okay. He said he can commit to doing a better job of getting the garbage cans off your property. Maybe you could build a little pad or something out there to house them or something like that.
Absolutely. Whatever we can get together and find out.
Do you want to address, you got a little bit of time left, do you want to address the lady's comments about the housing sizes, carports, any of that kind of stuff?
I don't have any plans for any of that. I would say that I believe when you're looking at our home, it's to the left, and there is absolutely no plan, I would think, in the next 15 years to build anything right there.
Okay.
It's just a matter of kind of planning ahead in our minds as a family.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Mr. Chairman, may I add a comment?
Yes, ma'am. Please comment, Ms. Helen.
And we do understand that, this is a concern sometimes when we have to deal with trash pickup, but by naming his road, while he may opt to have a gate, he will have a street name and new addresses off of that road. So basically, the garbage company will be informed of that, and they'll be able to get into that portion of the right-of-way and pick up right there at the entrance of his property.
So you're saying, I want to make sure that everybody's clear, so that the garbage pickup will be able to enter the new roadway to come and pick up the garbage from in front of the homes instead of...
Even if it's gated, they'll be able to bring their trash pickup right at the entrance of Narrow Gate Road, which is a private road. And I'm not sure if they will gate it or not, but if that's the case, then they'll be able to roll up, but they'll be able to have their trash pickup, of course, they'll have to inform their garbage pickup company. If the gate is open, obviously, the garbage truck can come all the way back to pick up.
No, sir. So if you get, I am going to call you, but come on up to the microphone. Yes, okay. And look, if y'all want to rebut some time as well, just come up and be ready. You can come after him.
I do have to say right now, the garbage...
all the way up to the mic.
The garbage trucks have trouble coming down the street right now. They have to pull in and back up to my house. And it's just, I don't think it's going to be too good for them. That's all I wanted to say.
Okay. Thank you, sir. Yes, ma'am.
And did you answer my question about the covenants that'll run with the lots?
I think he did, ma'am, because he said that they don't have any, it's not a homeowners association.
Right.
And it's for his family, and they're not making any plans. His kids are 8 years old, so they're not going to build anything for 10 years at least.
Okay, but I would like to know that they should run, if they decided to sell, that it would be part of the covenant that these these
there-
things would be maintained.
I'm sorry, is there a homeowners association this is going to belong to? Then there's no. Okay, so one of the commissioners wants to address that question.
Okay.
Okay?
Thank you.
Any other comments? Yes, ma'am.
I'm still confused as to how heavy equipment is going to get in and off of the property to do the construction, because I know that they say that
Yes,
their
ma'am.
children are going to have the ones closest to us, but I do know that they plan to build soon a second house on the property, which is fine. I just want to know how they're going to get there. As of right now, vehicles cannot, large vehicles, I have seen them cut off the end of our property, the end of Mr. Price's property, just to get around. School buses don't even go down our road because there's no place to turn around. So I'm just concerned.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Any other comments? Bring it back to the commission. Commissioner Robert.
Okay, so we've got a few things to go through here. So I'll put my concerns last, and I mean, they kind of align with some of the concerns of the people who live along here. So from what I understand, it sounds like we already have kind of a to-do list. Portion of that is getting that, the number one thing on that list is to get that portion of Lotus that is not currently in Public Works' inventory pulled in, correct? Is to adopt that portion of the roadway surface. So what will happen at that point is the parish will come in and bring the road up to whatever the standard of the remainder of Lotus Road is. Is that correct, Ted? I see you shaking your head.
No, ma'am. We will not necessarily improve it to a different standard. What it would do is be able to take it into our maintenance system, so whenever we do improvements or there are concerns or potholes, that would be able to use our public works and our public funding to go out and maintain it. But we would not necessarily be required to bring it up to a certain standard if we're the ones taking it into our maintenance system.
But if it's dilapidated and it's dangerous, Public Works would naturally.
This would be the quickest way to get it on a list to be maintained.
Perfect. Okay, so this would be the fastest way to do that, since there is going to be some kind of development back there. So hopefully that helps with that fear. Second, covenants and restrictions. I'm sorry, what was this nice lady's last name? Ma'am. So there are two different things you're talking about here. So one thing you're referencing, you're asking about no-cut buffers. That is a current parish ordinance, so they have to maintain those buffers. That's not necessarily like a runs with the land type of covenant. Because these people are not donating or there are no property transfers, from my understanding that will happen with this for 10 years, there would be no need for them to write a covenant, a deeded restriction or a covenant into that recorded deed with the clerk of court's office until they get to the point where they're ready to donate the property. At that point, then they could say, hey, I don't want my kid to come build a tiny home on this with, a tin roof. I'm going to go ahead and tell them they can't do that. And then that restriction would run with the land. However, the 50-foot no-cut buffer is a parish ordinance right now for properties of certain sizes, so he would have to maintain that inherently. So that's not something that's deeded. Again, that is parish code of ordinances. My overall concern is that I hope Mr. and Mrs. Hodge understand that the majority of the northern portion of these properties is in a regulatory floodway, which means that you guys would have to submit. It's nearly impossible. It's not impossible, but it's nearly impossible to build in what FEMA has designated a regulatory floodway, which Bayou Chinchuba is. It's a major, major watershed for this area. They would have to submit, if they chose to build too close to the regulatory or within the regulatory floodway, they would have to submit a no-rise certificate from an engineer, a hydrology study. The laundry list goes on, and it takes several years to get those types of things approved by FEMA. So they do have plenty of space outside of the regulatory floodway on the southern portion of the parcel. If you looked at tract 100-A-2, the 8.78 acre tract, from what I'm seeing, the regulatory floodway kind of ends with that boundary line that cuts to Mr. Price's property. So it ends right there. They do have ample space south of that to build away, which should help maintain some of the drainage, majority of the drainage in the future on those two parcels. So I hope that assuages some fears that you guys had with that. That being said, I hope you guys understand everything that I just laid out. I would make a motion to approve with waivers.
Motion to approve with waivers, Commissioner Robert, Commissioner Truxillo.
Wow. Yeah, I agree with my fellow commissioner, and I'm going to second it.
We have a motion and a second. Commissioner Martino?
Just an additional comment about access for large vehicles. If anyone has built a house or home, the contractor is going to ensure that it is safe to bring in equipment, not only for their equipment, but for the neighbors. They do not want to be held liable. These are things that the parish works with when they're made aware by work order submissions via homeowners or contractors in some instances to ensure that roadways are adequate for large vehicles. More so, what brings to my mind is if you have a concern of school buses, but also fire and EMS not having good access to your properties as they are now, more so to the proposed properties, those are also concerns that should be brought to the attention. And I believe, you know, as Ted and some others have brought up, you know, being brought into the maintenance system and some other things, this is kind of that first stepping stone. So my comments are more of an assurance that there won't be homes built to the best of the parish, to their knowledge, or fire and EMS to where you all are feeling unsafe. So nothing else.
Okay, thank you. No further discussion. We have a motion and a second. Please vote.
One more person. Motion to approve carries with waivers.
7. Hit it.
Item number 7, 2025-4222, under concept planner approval, TP. Vincent Heights subdivision, developer owner Prudent Creek Partners LLC, engineer surveyor Kelly McHugh and Associates, Parish Council District Representative Honorable Martha Casabon. General location of property is located north of Penn Mill Road, west of Covington Vincent Airport, Covington, Louisiana, Ward 3, District 3, postponed from the November 12th meeting.
Staff? Come on,
Yes, sir.
Ted.
Hey, working on it. Yes, sir. The concept plans and documentation have been reviewed by this office, and an inspection was made of the site on November 25th, 2025. Should the Planning Commission proceed with this case, please be advised that the concept approval shall be subject to the below informational items and comments numbers 1 through 3 being addressed. Additionally, please be advised that this development is seeking the use of the subdivision incentive waivers for 10% in the natural area preserved, as well as 10% for the sidewalk construction, for a maximum total allowed of 20%. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Mr. Morone.
Good evening, Mr. Chairman, members of the Commission. Paul Maroon on behalf of Prudent Creek Partners, LLC. With regards to our concept plan, we have reviewed the staff comments. Comment number 1, we have no objection to adding the language regarding the sidewalks, and we'll be happy to add that to the plat. With regards to the staff comments, excuse me, from December 2nd, we reviewed those, and we're in the process of answering those, and we'll have those back to the staff shortly. And then finally, with regards to the utility letter, we have reached out to the utility provider, asked him to amend the letter to reflect the 68 lots as opposed to the 65. They have responded and said that we'll have that letter shortly. So we will comply with all of the comments in the staff report. We would respectfully request your approval, and we'll be happy to answer any questions that any of the commissioners might have.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I don't have any speaker cards. Anyone in the audience wish to speak in favor? Anyone opposed? I'll bring it back to the commission. Commissioner Robert.
My initial concern with this was the fact that there is only one drainage servitude for that pond. However, I did go back and review the topo maps that I printed the last time when we actually approved the rezoning of this site, and it turns out that it's actually perfectly in line with what I had on the topo map. So I'm interested to see what the engineering looks like when that comes back, but the site does naturally flow that way regardless, so I would make a motion to approve.
Okay, we have a motion to approve. Paul, I'm going to make a couple of comments on this one. I don't like it. It's very stark, and I understand it's perfectly in compliance, and I understand that. Increasing the buffer and everything to get the lot sizes and everything, I would have rather have seen some more green space. The green space is very, very small and kind of spread out. I would have liked to see, I mean, is the detention area, is that a dry pond or is that going to be a wet pond?
It will be a dry pond.
It'll be a dry pond.
Yes.
So, I mean, I would have just for you guys, I would have loved to have seen some of the green space next to that, so that it could actually be used as like kind of a recreational area when it's dry. Now it's just going to be a mowing concern. It's just, right. So it just in the planning side, I'd like to see a little bit more of that this is the second concept plan that we've dealt with since the UDC change. Right. And so as we're going through these things, I'd just like to communicate some of how I'd like to see the plans. I went to this lot. Mm-hmm. It's basically full of 120-foot pine trees, right, with some scattered oaks. Right. My concern is in that 50-foot buffer, how many of those pine trees are you going to leave? Because nobody wants that falling on their house. If you take away all the supporting growth, now that tree is weak and a real stiff wind's going to blow it over. Mm-hmm. So that's part of my concern, is leaving that in that buffer zone. And then there's a lot of beautiful oaks scattered throughout there that I could just see from the road, and there's just we're gonna have to remove everything in there to make this fit. If we're trying to make something that looks like it fits in the environment, and it's kind of a little bit more endearing to the environment versus making something that looks exactly like Pinmill Lakes, which is just one track home after another with some Bradford pears out front. That's not really Louisiana. So those are my comments. Even though this is completely in compliance, ugly doesn't make it any better.
I understand. I appreciate your comments. That's helpful.
I have a motion. I don't have a second. Commissioner Truxillo.
A second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. You have any comments, Commissioner Seeger? Okay, motion and a second. Please vote.
Missing one more person. Motion to approve carries.
Item number 8.
Item number 8, 2024-3954 MSP under old business, minor subdivision of 35.58 acres into parcels A, B, C, and D. Owner and Representative Gregory P. Harvin and Leslie Harvin. Surveyor, Land Surveying LLC. Parish Council District Representative Honorable Pat Phillips. General location: the property is located on the end of Williamsburg Drive and at the end of Salem Drive, Mandeville, Ward 4, District 5. Request waiver to construct the access drive and required drainage prior to building permits being issued instead of prior to plat being recorded.
Staff?
This minor subdivision request was in front of you in 2024, and if you take a look at the survey here, you've noticed that parcel A is not subject to the construction of the private road for parcel B, C, and D. So at this time, the petitioner is requesting, a waiver to be able to add the language that is shown on your staff report here, to be able to complete the construction of the access servitude and drainage prior to building permit being issued on parcel B, C, and D. Instead of prior to the plat being recorded, the construction of the road is almost completed. Basically, the owner is trying to release parcel A to be able to, sell, or, as well as have the survey recorded to be able to start potential sales. And that's a request that is in front of you this evening.
Thank you. Is the petitioner here? Do you have anything to add?
The only thing I have to add is happy holidays to everybody, and thank you for your consideration on this matter.
Appreciate it. Anyone in the audience wish to speak in favor? Anyone opposed? Bring it back to the commission. Commissioner Seeger.
Move to approve.
Motion to approve, Commissioner Seeger. Commissioner Robert.
I have a question. So the last time we heard this case, we postponed it because there were several residents who appeared with concerns. If my memory serves me correctly, the concerns were tying into Williamsburg Drive with some of the drainage improvements in that area. It wasn't the resub or anything else or the rezone. It was literally just, I don't want my house to flood because of this. Has that just engineering? Can you give us a little update and tell us where things currently stand?
Yes, ma'am, absolutely. So yes, you're correct on that one. That was one of the major concerns brought up by some of the adjacent property owners. Since that time, we have issued an unlimited work order for this project because they have submitted all the required documentation, which did include a hydro. And a little unique to this situation is we had to make sure, and we verified with their engineer of record, that no additional flow was going to be sent over towards the Williamsburg Drive to maintain the existing flow rate going out there, so we would not be causing any additional adverse impact out there. All of that we have on file, and that was utilized to issue the unlimited work order.
Fantastic. Thank you so much for that information. I appreciate you guys, and I would like to second the motion.
With waivers, Mr. Seeger, can you amend your motion to include the waivers?
So moved.
Okay, we have a motion to approve and a second with the waivers. Please vote.
Motion to approve carries with waivers.
Going back to number 1, zoning case number 2025-4455ZC, text change, amend chapter 400, zoning section 407, overlay districts H, resolution RES 1, resilience overlay, District 1, to amend and add criteria for removal of certain building construction standards when criteria is submitted, reviewed, and determined to be sufficient. Amend Chapter 400 zoning, Section 407, overlay districts 1, resilience 2, resilience overlay district 2, and amend and add the criteria for removal of certain building construction standards when required data is submitted, reviewed, and determined to be sufficient. Staff.
I guess I'll provide a little commentary in the beginning, then I'll hand it over to Ted and Aaron for the technical aspect of it. Several months ago, the Res 1 and the Res 2 overlay was adopted by the council, and it provided certain construction standards in a mapped area. Over the past couple months, we've had property owners come to us in the planning and development department as well as in engineering asking, why do I have to build to these standards? And the question is, well, the answer was, your parcel, your property, doesn't apply to the reasons why this overlay was developed. So we're looking to have a better construction standard for areas of special concern, of critical drainage areas, wetlands, and floodplains. Well, if a property doesn't have those aspects to it, why are then they held to a higher construction standard? So working over the past couple months with the council, with engineering and other departments, we've come up with the criteria that the reason why this area was mapped is the same criteria as why the property then can be removed from those construction standards. So the reasons why the area was mapped, and again, we had a limited amount of money, so we mapped the entire study area, but then there was no relief to property owners when it didn't make sense for those construction standards on that property. So the reasons why that area was mapped, we look at those same reasons to apply to a particular person who's coming in for a permit and say, yes, it either needs to have those construction standards or no, it does not apply. And instead of a property owner coming to the zoning commission, taking 4 months and asking for a zoning removal of the overlay, this is an administrative process that we can serve the public 4 months quicker and for probably hundreds or thousands of dollars cheaper when it does not apply to their property. So that's the reason why we started looking at how can we help the public get out of this if it doesn't apply to them. So I'm going to turn it over to Ted and Aaron, but that's my commentary to begin this discussion.
Thank you, Ross. Well said. Well said. Yeah, to piggyback off of that, that was one of the things, just like any ordinance, when you introduce, or especially overlays, changes, you're naturally going to find the properties that may not comply or don't fit in these types of situations. To piggyback, one of the main being, if I'm not subject to any of the 4 requirements, why am I held to that requirement? And it's a very valid question that we started looking into, and what you're seeing in front of you in the staff report is a stab at that. I would like to go on record right now and say we've had some meetings since introducing this staff report and this regarding these changes to the Res 1 and Res 2 ordinances, and some of the good conversations that came out of it were actually some oversights on the original interpretation. I'm going to talk about those now. You're not going to see them in here, but we would like to at least bring them up and for your thought. You'll see that number 4 in there where it references the 4th criteria being if you have wetlands on your site or in the area developed as subject to the USGS Wetlands Mapper or St. Tammany Parish Wetlands Mapper. We're going to probably go ahead and hopefully amend that to include or better available mapping data. Reason being is if someone does have a jurisdictional permit, a core permit, something done by a biologist, better data than we currently have available to us. We obviously want to and should be looking into that data. So we'll be hopefully making that minor modification to go forth to council. Additionally, you'll see we added language as to 36-inch height requirement above the center line of the road or above the base flood elevation, whichever is greater, which typically falls right in line with a lot of our restrictive covenants on our subdivision plats. The issue we've run into, particularly in this area, is it is not uncommon to have a road higher than the land, especially in some of the state highways that are adjacent to properties. So we will be trying to clarify that one to say, if you have flood zone on your property, you are 36 inches above the flood zone. If you are no flood zone on your property, you are 36 inches above the center line of the road. That is the clarification we're hoping to make there. That way we don't happen to have a property maybe with flood zone and a high road, and then they say, well, if I'm already 3 foot above the center line of the road, why am I 4.5 foot above the flood zone? So there's potential when we started working through some examples of some cleanup needed, and that's another one we're looking at. So I know we're hitting you with a lot of information, so any questions, please let me know.
Commissioner Robert.
I don't necessarily, I have one question. Poor Ted with me with this. We had a, 2.5-hour Zoom meeting back in February. Poor Ted and Aaron and Desire Line over this, and I'll just say, this is literally what we discussed in that Zoom meeting, was building in these provisions for these properties because we knew that there were always going to be exceptions to the rule. So while I am happy to see that, I'm not thrilled with how long it took us to get here. Would it make common sense to just kind of put that in on the front end? Maths, and when it doesn't, it doesn't. So I do have a question. Under item number 4 on, I'll just say it's probably for both of them. The accessory structures or garages under 600 square feet are exempt. However, we're still requiring hydrostatic vents on those, correct? If they're built below BFE.
Sorry, I'm getting to number 4 real quick.
I just want to clarify, because I know I'm going to have somebody come in with a garage on one of these parcels, and they're going to ask me, and I'm going to probably end up having to tell them, you have to put hydrostatic fence in.
Yes, those would still be required, but the 3-foot elevation is what they would be exempt from. We're not going to tell them to raise their accessory structure 3 foot above, especially on a 600 or less square foot.
Yeah, and if it's not construction on fill.
But yes, any other of those design standards subject to especially the coastal zones would still be applicable to that. This is sheerly just to say, what's our elevations and our build standards there?
I will say I do like that this goes through the Department of Engineering. I know you guys just got the opportunity to do the administrative waivers for areas of special concern and some other, a little bit more leeway for y'all to make better decisions. instead of it having to come through us and the council every time. So I am glad to see that there's consistency with that. In terms of the process for somebody who would want to remove or, just inherently would be exempt, is the process similar to what they would go through for other areas of special concern, or have y'all really fleshed that out yet?
The intent would be we're really trying to mirror this based off of the area of special concern waiver. So yes, the intention would be, hey, my project or my property does not fall in these criteria, or I disagree with it and I would like it evaluated. You send in the survey, the assessment, the things you have to support your case similar to the area of special concern waiver, and we utilize our maps and our best available data to review against those 4 criteria.
Perfect.
And if they meet, then you are subject to it. If they don't meet, you are not subject to it. And so yes, it'll kind of hopefully flow very similar to the area of special concern, which, knock on wood, I haven't heard much complaints about, and it seems to be working very well on that process.
Yeah, awesome. All right, well, thank you for the information. If my other commissioners don't have any.
Before you make a motion, I have to ask if there's anybody in the audience that wishes to speak on this subject, either for or against. Thank you.
I'd like to make a motion to approve the amendments to the code.
Okay, a motion to approve the amendments to the code.
Before we do, I have a question.
No, we'll take
can we
backs.
fit in the or better available mapping data here right now so that it just goes through? Okay. I would like to make an amendment to the amendment to add under section 4, I'm sorry, in number 4 under section F for Resilience Overlay District number 1, as well as D number 4 under Resilience Overlay number 2, to amend the language to read, the parcel or location of the proposed improvements on the parcel will not impact any wetland areas as mapped by the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Wetland Map or the St. Tammany Parish Wetland Management Mapper, or if better available mapping data. If
Our stat was or best available mapping data.
Or best available mapping data. I had better available.
I'll second.
While we are making these, would you want to consider the clarification on the 36 inches, where it be 36 inches above base flood when a base flood is subject on the property, or 36 inches above center line of road when no base flood is above?
Oh, so wait, that is not already in this?
That one's not already, it just currently references whichever is greater, which we feel like is.
No, I agree.
Is going to cause some concerns.
It was just
Rather
the way it was scratched out in here. I assume that that was already part of this clarification, so I apologize, or I would have added that. So I would like,
Before you add that, so just clarify for us again, because I just heard something different than I heard the first time.
Yes, sir.
So do you mean that it's going to be 36 inches above base flood elevation or 36 inches above the center line of the road?
No, sir. The way we would like the language to reflect is you will be required to be 36 inches above base flood elevation when a flood zone is subject to the property, or the project is subject to a flood zone. So if flood zone is on your property, we will be raising 36 inches against or above that base flood elevation. When there is a property that is not subject to a flood zone, you will be 36 inches above the center line of the road, because we have some property in this mapped area that is either area of special concern or subject to wetlands that does not have a base flood on that property. So then they're saying, well, what's my elevation?
So you just don't have a measurement?
We don't have a starting point. When there's no flood zone on there, we needed to reference
see.
36 inches above the road, because that is our hard
What if
starting
they have a flood zone and the road is higher?
well,
We would go against the flood zone.
it
Flood zone
specifically
would go.
says whichever is higher in the language for the ordinance.
No, but only in this particular instance. What I'm asking is if it is in a flood zone and the road is higher,
We would go against the flood zone.
but what
because
if
that
the
is
3 feet was
intention.
below the level of the road still?
I would hope that doesn't exist, and we might have to cross that. We might have to cross that bridge. But the
Pearl
goal,
River.
Remember the goal on this. We're not in Pearl River on these reses.
Yeah, but I'm just
So-
saying, I could think of just one instance off, not in this
Yeah.
particular zone that it comes to top of mind, but.
What we're going for is the goal is a 36-inch freeboard requirement is already a very
Sure, it's
restrictive-
generous, yeah. Yes.
Ideally, 36 inches above any flood zone should be the most protective home built in St. Tammany today, because it just doesn't exist anywhere else, truthfully.
That's FEMA's gold standard.
Correct. So ideally, even if the road is 8 foot and my flood zone's at 5, and now I'm getting to 8 foot, it should still be a very gold standard for FEMA and gold standard for St. Tammany. What we don't think, and we think might be burdensome, is road's at 8, I'm going to be 3 foot above my base flood at 8, but we're telling you now you have to go to 12 or to 11. So now you're making me, or the requirement would be raising 6 foot when I'm already going to be 3 foot above the base flood elevation, and I don't necessarily have a wonderful justification as to why you're required 6 foot now, because the state built the road really high.
Well, it doesn't necessarily have to be the state built the road really high. I've got a family out in Folsom right now where the road is 7 feet. They're off of Yates Road.
Yeah.
Yates Road is 7 feet higher than the
ground level,
the drop off.
Yeah.
But their property it's hilly. So it drops down, but then it comes back up. So, we're not, and they're building 250 feet off the road.
Yeah.
So in situations like that, we're not really worried about what the elevation of the road is.
That is the goal of trying to hopefully address any conflicts like that. We want to be 3 foot above the base flood when we have a known base flood. That's the goal of this ordinance and this res. And I don't have a base flood, then the road is my only known hard surface elevation. We are going to pull 3 foot off of that when a base flood is not available.
Okay. Did you want to adjust your amendment again?
I would like to suspend my earlier comment, my earlier motion, and make a motion to amend the amendment to include language that states, to correct language in number 3, H, RES 1, Resilience Overlay District 1, number 3, B, overlay must be elevated to a minimum of 3 feet above the base flood elevation or the center line of the street or top of curb fronting the site, whichever is higher. Or do you have better language than this? I will read it out loud. Let me read it first.
But that is the blue language we're looking at. Yes. Instead of you making it up on the fly, that's what we tried to draft.
Do we need to say special flood hazard area, or is flood zone okay to fly with this, since the rest of our language? Okay. So I would like to make a motion to amend the amendment to read, overlay must be elevated to a minimum of 3 feet above the base flood elevation when located in a special flood hazard area or the center line of the street or top of curb fronting the site when not located within a special flood hazard area. Additionally, I would like to, amend letter F, number 4, to read, the parcel or location of the proposed improvements on the parcel will not impact any wetland areas as mapped by the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Wetland Map, the St. Tammany Parish Wetland Management Mapper, or best available mapping data.
Yay. I'll second that.
Can you read that for the other section too? There's 2 sections for that.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I would also like to make an amendment, or do I need to make a separate motion for that, or since it's a different section? Okay. Additionally, I would like to change, it's different on this side, letter D in Resilience Overlay District 2 to read, number 4, B,
Likewise.
now you're throwing me off.
Likewise.
Number 3, A,
Just say likewise.
likewise.
There you go. I second that.
And D, 4, likewise. There were 2 changes. Sorry. I was trying to find exactly where it was at. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
That was very confusing. Lots of Roman numerals and letters in there.
Motion to approve with amendments.
A motion to approve the amendments.
A motion, so we have to do a motion to
As
approve
amended.
her amendments first?
Yes.
Okay, so we have to approve Commissioner Robert's fine amendments. So I have a motion and a second by Commissioner Narcisse. Commissioner Seeger? You good? Commissioner Martino?
Oh, we don't need a separate motion to accept?
She made a motion, and we have a second on that motion, so we need to accept her amendment to the amendments.
And then we will vote on it.
And then we will vote.
You good?
Hold up back.
Okay. So the motion before us is to accept Commissioner Robert's amendments. Please vote.
Motion to approve carries.
Okay, the motion is adopted. Commissioner Seeger.
Move to approve the amendments.
Motion to approve the
Which
amendment.
ones are they? Can you read them again?
35, 17. 23.
Commissioner Truxillo.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve the amendment. No further discussion. Please vote.
One more.
Ted, perhaps you could bring me a script next meeting as well.
Motion to
Motion to
approve
adjourn.
carries.
I can't.
We have a motion to adjourn.
Since, yeah,